Kate Martin ain't playing. You will lose. Shit, don't mess with Kate Martin out there.
Angel Reese is back in the spotlight, but once again, it's not for her basketball skills. During a fiery, unrivaled league matchup, Reese's frustration boiled over in what many saw as a targeted play against Kate Martin, Caitlin Clark's closest ally. The aggressive collision left fans wondering whether it was just another tough play or a calculated move rooted in past rivalry. The moment quickly became one of the most talked about incidents on the court, but Kate Martin wasn't fazed. Instead of playing the victim, she responded where it mattered most, on the scoreboard. Her elite defense, sharp shooting, and fearless attitude didn't just expose Reese's weaknesses, they shifted the momentum entirely. Fans watched as Martin turned the tables, proving she wasn't just a supporting player in Clark's shadow, but a force in her own right. The clash between these two athletes didn't just highlight the tension between them, it solidified Martin's reputation as an unshakable competitor.
One of the most embarrassing things we've ever seen happen on a basketball court.
As Martin propelled her team to victory, Reese's performance unraveled. Missed layups, exaggerated flops, and visible frustration reminded everyone why she has struggled in the unrivaled league and beyond. What was meant to be a statement game for Reese ended up as another disappointing outing. Instead of leading her team to a defining win, her lack of focus and poor execution overshadowed any efforts to shift the game in her favor. Meanwhile, Martin capitalized on every opportunity, proving that composure under pressure is what truly defines greatness. While Reese attempted to dominate through sheer aggression, Martin let her game do the talking. Her discipline, precision, and ability to step up when it mattered most showcased a stark contrast between the two athletes. Fans who were initially expecting a back-and-forth battle soon realized that this game was not about rivalry, it was about results. And Martin delivered.
Reese got a little bit of her own medicine last night from Kate Martin, who's pretty tight with Caitlin Clark. Now, she flopped around on the ground like she's LeBron's play cousin out there. Barely any contact, fall on the ground and start flopping around. Kate low-key revenge, fouling.
In this video, we're breaking down the entire showdown, how Angel Reese's antics backfired, how Kate Martin rose to the occasion, and why Caitlin Clark's influence remains a key factor in this ongoing story. The tension between these players has been brewing for years, but this latest chapter only widened the gap between hype and results. While Reese tried to control the narrative through emotion and theatrics, Martin responded with skill and execution. From controversial plays to game-changing moments, we'll cover every angle of this heated battle. Whether you're a fan of Martin, Reese, or simply the sport itself, one thing is clear: this game exposed more than just personal rivalries. It highlighted what truly separates good players from great ones. And as the dust settles, one question remains: will Reese learn from this, or will she continue down the same path? Let's dive into the drama and the cold, hard facts.
Nobody is coming close to the power of the Caitlin Clark effect. Like, they're just not.
You and I both know, right? We both know. No Caitlin Clark, no watch. No Caitlin Clark in the league, no watch. Caitlin Clark's in that league, viewership doubles, if not.
Let's break down what really happened during this heated, unrivaled league matchup between Angel Reese and Kate Martin, a game that's been making headlines for all the wrong reasons. What started as a competitive showdown quickly turned into a spectacle of frustration, dominance, and exposed weaknesses. Reese, known for her fiery personality, seemed to have a personal vendetta against Martin, leading to moments of unnecessary aggression. But while Reese let her emotions take over, Martin remained composed, responding with solid play on both ends of the court. This game wasn't just about a rivalry. It became a defining moment in both players' careers. Fans, analysts, and even former players weighed in, with many praising Martin for keeping her focus and delivering when it mattered most. The aftermath of this matchup will likely fuel future encounters, but one thing is certain: this was a night Martin won't forget, and Reese might want to.
Luckily, nobody was there to see that. I'm sure there wasn't anybody watching on TV either.
The rivalry between Reese and Martin has been brewing since their college days, but this time, things went beyond competition and straight into chaos. In the first quarter, with the score close, Reese made a reckless drive to the basket. Martin, known for her strong defensive presence, stood her ground. The result? A collision that sent Reese crashing to the floor. At first glance, it appeared to be just another hard foul, but fans quickly speculated that Reese's aggression had deeper roots. Was it personal? Many believe so. The physicality of the game escalated from there, with Reese appearing increasingly frustrated as Martin continued to shut her down. Each possession became a battle, but while Martin stuck to her fundamentals, Reese resorted to desperate attempts to force calls and regain control. This moment became a turning point, as Martin's resilience and skill continued to shine while Reese's frustrations mounted.
And I don't know what it is about Angel Reese. When she puts up real productive numbers, her teams lose. Angel Reese goes off and they lose. 3 for 5 from the field. My goodness. 17.7 boards, right?
Reese's struggles didn't end with that play. Throughout the game, her frustration was impossible to ignore. She missed several layups, an issue that has plagued her career, and attempted dramatic flops that drew more eye rolls than whistles. Commentators and fans alike began to take notice. What was once seen as fierce competitiveness started looking more like desperation. Reese's reputation for being a dominant force was being challenged, not just by Martin, but by her own inability to adapt. Meanwhile, Martin remained locked in. She played with discipline, never letting Reese's antics shake her focus. Every missed opportunity by Reese became another moment for Martin to capitalize. The contrast between the two players became increasingly evident as the game progressed. This wasn't just about one bad night for Reese. It was a pattern that fans couldn't ignore. At one point, Reese hit the floor after minimal contact with Martin, rolling around as if trying to sell a foul. But the crowd wasn't buying it, and neither were the officials. It was a moment that summed up Reese's night, full of frustration and failed attempts to shift momentum. But here's what made the game even more intriguing. Martin wasn't just surviving the battle, she was dominating it. While Reese flailed and argued, Martin played smart basketball. She grabbed key rebounds, locked in defensively, and hit shots when her team needed them most. The difference was undeniable. Martin wasn't just proving she could handle Reese, she was proving she was the better player that night. The more Reese tried to impose her will, the more Martin exposed the flaws in her game.
We can see right here, I don't think my girl Angel has been working on layups at all, bro. I think Angel is focused on everything off the court. Doesn't look like she's polished or added to her game at all. Another season of this and she'll fade into the woodwork.
While Reese struggled, Martin thrived. She played with precision, discipline, and a level of control that made all the difference. Every rebound, every defensive stop, and every critical shot added to her growing reputation as a player who steps up in big moments. Meanwhile, fans quickly took to social media, rallying around Martin's performance. One fan summed it up best: Kate Martin just humbled Angel Reese again. It wasn't just about winning the game, it was about proving who could handle pressure and who couldn't. For Reese, this was another game where expectations didn't match reality. For Martin, it was a defining moment that solidified her ability to perform when it counts. The rivalry continues, but this chapter belongs to Kate Martin. The question now is, what's next for Angel Reese?
Boil on Caitlin Clark's ass. Angel Reese may be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss layups?
It's here that we need to just realize Angel Reese is playing, and she's been very big on herself as being a massive draw. If that is in fact the truth, then why are people not watching with the same excitedness that they were watching Caitlin Clark?
The name The Rose BC. Seriously, where do they come up with these names? It's just bad. Angel Reese was expected to be the face of the team, but instead, she's struggling to live up to expectations.
My jam here.
Cool new modernizations and this whole new league that was just built and is now making its debut. Fans aren't really buying into it as of this point. The games have averaged about 312,000 viewers across TNT and True TV, which is their broadcast partners. Those numbers, just to put into a little bit of perspective, while they seem like, okay, we've got over 312, when you put them in comparison to some of the WNBA numbers, specifically the WNBA numbers that featured Caitlin Clark playing in a game, they are actually very
Angel
low.
Reese's on-court behavior has been a recurring controversy. From missed opportunities in the WNBA to lackluster performances in the unrivaled league, she has consistently fallen short of the hype surrounding her. Her track record speaks for itself. More drama, fewer results.
NBA players, along with their pretend friends in the mainstream media, they downplayed the impact of Caitlin Clark. It is amazing how pretend hatred and fake outrage magically seem to disappear when it comes to making money.
Women's basketball has a marketing problem. Caitlin Clark, however, is the exception. She's the WNBA's cash cow, yet the league continues to sideline her instead of embracing her star power. Meanwhile, Reese keeps pointing fingers at Clark and her fans, but her struggles are self-inflicted. Kate Martin let her game do the talking, silencing Reese's antics and proving why she's one of the most respected players on and off the court. This wasn't just a win for Martin, it was a statement. Skill and composure win games, not theatrics. The reality? No one is tuning in to watch Angel Reese. She's not Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, or Larry Bird. She's just a player who taunted Caitlin Clark. Reese was supposed to thrive in the unrivaled league, but instead, her flaws are more evident than ever. From missed layups to costly turnovers, she's proving to be more of a liability than an asset. Despite scoring 17 points, her inefficiency, poor decision-making, and tendency to foul out hurt her team. This isn't an isolated issue, it's a pattern. The league itself is struggling to attract viewers, averaging just 312,000 across TNT and True TV. The numbers pale in comparison to WNBA games featuring Clark, which regularly surpass 2 million viewers. The difference is clear. Clark brings in audiences, while Reese and the unrivaled league struggle to stay relevant. Clark spends her off-season refining her game. Reese, on the other hand, prioritizes social media and podcast appearances. Fans have taken notice. One viral tweet summed it up. Caitlin Clark is a basketball player. Angel Reese is an Instagram model. Kate Martin's dominance further exposed Reese's struggles. While Martin played a composed, strategic game, Reese relied on physicality and drama. A particularly aggressive collision with Martin wasn't just a foul, it felt personal. Many fans speculated it was due to Martin's close friendship with Clark, but Martin responded with poise, proving that real skill overshadows theatrics every time. Meanwhile, Clark's influence continues to grow. Her WNBA games are setting viewership records, and her upcoming NBA All-Star Weekend appearance alongside Steph Curry will further elevate her status. Reese, in contrast, is becoming known for excuses rather than excellence. Despite her occasional scoring bursts, Reese's inconsistency, poor decision-making, and unnecessary drama make her a tough sell. The unrivaled league banked on her being a star, but instead, she's exposing its weaknesses. While fans call for Clark to join, the irony is that the league needs Clark. She doesn't need them. Without her, it remains a niche experiment struggling to gain traction. The media downplays Clark's impact, but the numbers don't lie. WNBA games featuring her break records, while unrivaled struggles to draw a fraction of that audience. Reese was positioned as the face of the league, but instead, her performances highlight its shortcomings. Kate Martin's latest victory sent a clear message: skill, teamwork, and composure will always triumph over drama. And while Reese continues to grab headlines for the wrong reasons, Clark remains the undisputed gold standard in women's basketball. So, the big question remains: how long will the league continue backing a player whose actions and performances fail to match the hype? One thing is certain, Caitlin Clark's legacy continues to rise, while Angel Reese's antics serve as a stark reminder of what's missing in the unrivaled league.